Hello everyone, I'm XQ. Welcome to my channel. Today I would like to share with you an art journal page about spring. So I'm gonna be using these cheap pebbles, not cheap board, cardstock shapes. It says cheap board on the package, but it's not really cheap board. I'm gonna use some acrylic, gesso, Mod Podge, and some glue seal. I'm gluing 2 pages together with Mod Podge because my sketchbook that I use for my art journal the page is not very strong. I'm using this tissue paper just to give a little bit more of texture in the background. I'm a fan of Vicky. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but her art journal project is beautiful, and that's why I started doing my own. Now I'm using the glue seal to glue down the tissue paper. I'm not using Mod Podge to glue down the tissue paper because it dries a little bit fast, and I need to dry a little bit slower because I'm trying to not leave any wrinkles on the page. It's almost impossible, but I'm doing it anyways. Now I'm just cutting out the edges and to leave everything even. I'm using some acrylic gesso in water because I don't want to cover the background completely. I just want to give it a wash and to fade down the colors because it's too bright. The letters on the background is too bright. And of course, I'm using my heating tool because I'm too impatient to let everything dry by itself. I'm using these gel sticks from Faber-Castell. They are not gelatos. They look like gelatos, but they are not. I don't really know the difference between them. I have gelatos also, but they are really a little bit pricey, and I had the gel sticks, and they to me they react like the same, so I don't really know the difference between them. Lindsay, the frugal crafter, she have a review on gelatos and gel sticks, and it looks like the gel sticks is for kids and the gelatos is more professional, but I use both and I can really tell the difference. And now I'm blending everything together. I'm using a baby wipe to wet my finger because you can move the ink around easily if you do that. And also, because I put gesso on the background, it's easier to move the ink from the gel sticks. I'm trying to not blend the blue and yellow really together because it's gonna turn to green. That's not what I want. So I have to blend them, but I'm being careful not to blend like really the edges of the blue and yellow together because I don't want a green sky. And then I'm adding a little bit more of blue because it was too light and it has some white spots there and I didn't like it. So I'm using these Maggie Holmes stencils, and I'm improvising because I don't have a cloud stencil. This texture base is from Ranger, and all the material that I'm using I'm gonna leave in the description below. Then I just remembered that I had to seal down the joysticks because they move if you don't they can blend together, or if you add any other media on top of it without putting glue on top of it, it's gonna move the ink around, and that's not what I wanted. Remember, this glue is a glue and also is a sealant, and it has a matte finish on it. It won't be glossy at the end because that's not what I want. Then I'm using this Sizzix stamp. I bought it Tuesday morning. And I'm not trying to stamp everything like a square shape, and I don't want to stamp everything perfectly. I just wanted to add some background texture, and I'm using a green. It's a ColorBox green. It's just because I wanted to have some plants of the background just looking like they are far away, but it was a little bit too dark. But it's okay. It's a art journal. You don't have really right and wrong. It's just what you want to do. And I was too impatient to let it dry, so that's why I used my heating tool again. Then I'm using the ColorBox green in a piece of watercolor paper because I'm gonna make these things from the flower. And then I'm using this Studio G green. It's a little bit darker just because I wanted to add some more texture and some more depth. And I'm drying out again with my heating tool. Now I'm using my paper trimmer to cut some strips that I'm gonna use to make the flower stem. Now I place all the flowers where I want them to go, and now I'm gonna go ahead and use my glue to glue them down on the page. I'm also using glue on top of everything, the flowers, the stem, the leaves, because I gonna use some more mediums on top of it. I gonna use the Faber-Castell big brush markers, and I want them to be, I want to be able to move the ink around, and to do that you need to have a non-porous surface. That's why I'm covering everything with the glue seal. I'm gonna try to use these two flowers together, just because I need to add a little bit of dimensions on it. So I'm using some foam dots to glue them together, and they won't be completely flat. Now I'm using the back of a brush just to give it a little bit of a curl. Now I'm cutting out the edges, the excess of the stems, and trying to make everything even. I'm placing my quote now. You can check the close-up photos of at the end of the video. Unfortunately, I couldn't record it, but I put some white highlights on it. So then I'm using the big brush markers now to add some more color on the flowers. It looks a little bit too fade to me, so I'm using the big brush markers to add color and more dimensions on it. If you move the ink on the page fast, it won't, you'll be able to move. But if you let it dry, you're not gonna be able to move it because it's a India ink. Once it's dry, that's it. You cannot do anything anymore. And what I was gonna say in the end of the video, you're gonna see some highlights in white. I used a chalk marker, but you can also use a gel pen, a white gel pen, to add the highlights in white. Also, around the clouds, I added a little bit more of gel stick, the blue one, the same that I did use for the sky, and I just blend, just because I wanted to add a little bit of dimension on the clouds. I wanted to say thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you very much, guys, for supporting my videos, to support my channel, to be there, and that means that you're liking what I'm doing. The layout is pretty much finished. So I just gonna add some more oranges there, some yellows, and the greens on the leaves. I'm gonna add some a dark green and a light one. You're gonna see on the close-up photos at the end of the video. So it's pretty much it. So please give me a thumbs up if you like my video, subscribe to my channel. That's the way that I know that you guys is liking what I'm doing, and share with your friends if you think they're gonna like it. Thank you very much, and I see you in the next video.